Well, how we doing? Me and Jay just had the best 15-minute discussion in the history of this show, and I just looked up and realized that we weren't live. So Jay Tust on a game day, he's broadcasting the game tonight. His time is very valuable today, and I just wasted 18 minutes of his time. We did have a great discussion. Mostly, Jay, it was about the Mariners and Cardinals trade. So I guess from that standpoint, most people wouldn't have cared anyway. But we were live for about 18 minutes, I thought, and then it turns out we're not live. So I was like, this is really weird. We haven't had a comment in 18 minutes, and I just kind of wasn't paying attention and looked up, and
thousands of women have reversed.
We were not live. That's awesome. So that hasn't happened in a while, too, Jay. But how you doing?
I'm good, man. How are you doing?
Good. And Tyree says I've been sitting here waiting. I haven't heard all morning. Yeah. You guys missed a hell of a 15 minutes. I'll just tell you that. That was I guess family only, Jay, not subscriber only. If our families were listening in the background about all they could hear. So apologize, guys. We were live right at 9 o'clock. Jay was early. We were live right at 9 o'clock. Had a great start to the show. And you guys don't need to keep saying it. I did not press the live button. No one would have seen anything. We were not live, so I apologize. But Jay Tust will be on the call tonight for the Mountain West Network. We're going to stream the game on BNN. I'm going to skip over most of that discussion because that took way too long anyway. But we will be streaming the game tonight on BNN. Jay and Brian King on the call. And Jay gets behind the mic for Jay, a pretty big game tonight for Boise State as the calendar turns to the month of February. And I'm sorry, Deborah, the coffee she had at 9 o'clock is now cold. I apologize. Well, we're here now. We got 25 minutes left. But Jay, big game tonight. Boise State they were 4-0, then lost the Grand Canyon game, and now trying to kind of keep this thing still moving in the right direction.
Yeah, I think you're looking at two teams that have kind of gone separate ways when it comes to preseason expectations. I think it's safe to say that Boise State hasn't met their preseason expectations. They were picked to finish second in the league, and right now they're 5-6 overall in conference play. So on the flip side of that, you have a Nevada squad that has basically reversed that preseason outcome to real-time outcome. And they're a squad that I think when you watch them, BJ, I think Nevada knows their identity. I think they're pretty consistent. And they've already beat Boise State once this year, and I think it's going to be, Boise State's going to have to bring their A game. And I'm not totally buying into the narrative right now, BJ, that the Broncos can't beat a good team just because we saw them go to Butler and really they owned that game. They controlled that game. We saw them beat St. Mary's on a neutral court. Lately that's probably been the case, but I'll say this though, with those outcomes, it suggests they have it in them. So tonight's the night that they got to put it together and show that they can beat a team near the top of the league standings. And they have also beaten New Mexico, at the X earlier this year, with a really dominant second half performance. So they have it in them. They just have to prove that they can do it again.
Yeah, and a Nevada team that last time they played them, Jay, didn't even have Corey Camper Jr. He just had 32 points on Saturday, was the Mountain West Player of the Week. I think he said he's averaging 17 a game and didn't even play the first time that these two teams meet when Nevada did beat Boise State by 15 points. I don't put a ton of stock into that game, Jay, to be honest. It was before Christmas. There was a lot of weird stuff happening. There were a ton of fouls called in that game, ton of free throws. That was just a weird game. But with that said, Nevada at home took care of business. Now Boise State gets a chance to – this is the second time they've had the opportunity for the get back. Didn't get it against Grand Canyon. But Ken Palm has this 74-71 Boise State. I haven't seen a betting line yet, but I would guess it's usually similar within a half a point or a point. So Boise State favored to win this game tonight. I don't know how many fans feel, as we discussed and no one heard us, how many fans would feel confident that Boise State's a favorite tonight or feel like they should be a favorite based on how they're playing. But, Steve Alford, Nevada, it's been some memorable games, Jay, and at least in the regular season, the final one scheduled for tonight. I think they're a team probably that Boise State would be fine scheduling for non-con. You're not going to schedule Wyoming or San Jose, But I certainly think even a UNLV, a Nevada, a New Mexico, I think those are three teams that, frankly, you're going to have to schedule, Jay, because we talked about this very briefly before the press conference started with Leon Rice yesterday, and I'm not trying to get too far off tangent here, but you get an extra game next year, so you go to 32 regular season games, and right now there's only 9 Pac-12 teams, so double round robin is 8 times 2, that's 16 games. You're going to have to schedule 16 non-conference games next season. That's a lot of games. Like right now, Boise State this year had to schedule 11. So you're talking about 5 extra games you got to come up with somehow, and I think scheduling home and homes with some of these Mountain West teams makes a lot of sense moving forward. And so I would bet one of those 3, Nevada, New Mexico, UNLV, would not shock me one bit. I think UNLV has already started a series they've announced with San Diego State for next year. So I would suspect that will happen, that they're going to have to play some of those teams. But for now, the last scheduled meeting, and it's been a heck of a series, some great games, but I certainly think this is a game Boise State can win tonight. And like I said earlier, you look at I know Nevada is a decent team. They're actually ranked higher in KenPom than Boise State. Like they're a very solid team, but I want to see them prove it against some of the better teams in the conference, because the best 3 teams they've played on their schedule, and actually, their best 5 really, if you throw in Santa Clara and Washington in the non-con, Jay, they're 0-5 against the 5 hardest teams they've played in terms of the KenPom numbers right now. So a lot of their conference wins are Fresno, Colorado State, Boise, Wyoming, Air Force, San Jose, UNLV. They got the nice win in overtime against Grand Canyon, but there was a foul call there that aided them. But they've lost to San Diego State, Utah State, New Mexico in conference, and lost to Santa Clara and Washington. They're the 5 hardest teams they've played. So for me, I think they're a solid team, but I certainly think this is a winnable game tonight. And I'm going to be following Nevada the rest of the season because they still have to play at San Diego State. They still host Utah State and New Mexico. They've still got 5 road games left. It wouldn't shock me if Nevada's 4th or 5th place when it's all said and done.
Yeah, but I mean that's where you probably want to be in when you're going down to the conference tournament this year. I mean, 4th place you get a bye, 5th place you get Air Force as a tune-up game, and outside of that, like, I mean, if you start to slip too much further than that, I mean, even 6th place you're probably getting San Jose State, which doesn't, they're not great this year. But if you're talking 7th, 8th, 9th, like all of a sudden, like, you're going to have to expend some energy just, to make sure you push that one across the finish line and move on. And you look at Nevada this season, I get what you're saying. 0-4 in quad 1. Their closest quad 1 game was a 7-point loss at New Mexico. This will be a quad 1 opportunity for the Wolfpack. In the net rankings, coincidentally, Boise State and Nevada are ranked right behind each other in terms of, Nevada's at 59, Boise State is at 60. So it should be a pretty fun matchup. But I mean, the Broncos are going to have to show that they can go out and do this. I'm not buying into that narrative that they can't win against a good team. They beat Butler on the road soundly. They beat St. Mary's. I know that ended up only being a 1-point game, but I mean, like, they were up double digits. It seems like almost the entire second half, and then just kind of a weird finish close that game, made it close. But they beat New Mexico. I mean, recently that's what the storyline would suggest with this team, but they
should have beat San Diego State. I mean, the triple overtime game is what it is. I mean, they had that game.
They got it in them. It's time to show that you can do it, though. I mean, if we're being honest,
it's as Jekyll and Hyde of a team as I can remember covering. I mean, they could literally beat anyone on their schedule, and they could literally lose to anyone on their schedule. You don't know what version shows up, and that's why the conference tournament and this final stretch is going to be so intriguing, because I do think, like, they could go down and win the conference tournament. They really, like, it wouldn't. I mean, they could. It wouldn't shock me. Maybe that's some homer thing to say, but like,
yeah, I was having this conversation with somebody yesterday. I know that it probably makes us look like homers or whatever, but you see the talent on this roster, and if it can click, I still believe that they can be as good as anybody left in the Mountain West this season. But
yes.
That being said, they could
lose by 15 in the first game, or they could win the tournament. Neither one would surprise me.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I agree.
All right. So somebody's asking about the game again tonight. Yes, it is on the Mountain West Network. Jay Tust is on the call if you joined us late. We're also going to pick it up on BNN. So if you watch the BNN pregame show tonight at 6 o'clock, we're going to carry that right into the game. We will have the game streaming on BNN tonight. So you can watch our pregame show. Just keep watching. And then when Jay and Brian start their live broadcast, we will turn it over to them. And then whenever they take their 90-second, 2-minute commercial breaks, Johnny, myself, Nathan, Carroll will kind of take turn popping in and giving some quick 90-second analysis on the timeouts. And then when they get back from the break, we'll go back to Jay and Brian King tonight. Larry's a New Mexico fan. He wants an autograph Saturday in the pit. Typically it's $50. I guess I could lower it to $20 for you since you're watching the show, Larry. I appreciate that. I don't know if I have any glossies left though, Jay. I may have to I'll have to look into that, I guess. But Larry, we might be able to make that happen. We'll see. Kidding, of course. Would love to meet you, Larry, but I'm not. No one wants my autograph, but I'll meet you, Larry. Would love to. Looks like you're a baseball player there. Maybe that's your son or something. But yeah, I'd be happy to meet you there. Let's see what else we got here. The crowd tonight, Jay. White out tonight. Looking to try to get a big crowd tonight. 7 o'clock game. Shouldn't be many excuses or anything. Here is Pearson Carmichael talking about his hope for a crowd tonight.
I mean, it would be nice. Obviously, we've had problems here with our home crowd, but I always say like we don't really need a home crowd. Like we have our team, we have our 30 deep with coaches and players. Like obviously, it's nice to have a supporting system. And that game, what was it, Colorado State? I think was probably the best showing we've had in a minute. It was great to see Bronco Nation out there rocking. But in games like that, GC and everything, like when everybody's bought in or we're all with each other, tight huddles and everything, like the crowd doesn't affect us. But it does feel good to play at home and you have a loving crowd where they're cheering and everything, and it feels good. And obviously tomorrow we have a big game, and I would just love for Bronco Nation to come out and support us.
Why do you think maybe the students haven't come out this year as much as they have in the past?
I have zero clue. I don't know what's the difference between football and basketball. I mean, basketball's indoor, football's outdoor in the cold. Like, I don't know, I feel like basketball would be more cozy, and it's a shorter period of time game. But I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's Tuesday. I mean, like sometimes the times are weird. Like tomorrow's a Tuesday. But I mean, what do you have going on Tuesday at 7? I know you don't have class, so come stop by the game tomorrow if you're a student. It'll be fun. But would love to see some more students show up for sure.
And I know, and not to ask you to speak negatively on the students, but you saw the student section at GCU and how big of a difference that can make. I mean, what you guys win a lot of home games in here anyway. I mean, if you had that, is it fun to imagine like how hard it would be for a team to come in here and win?
I just think it'd be cool to see let's do like a home student section like that. I mean, we're all used to playing away games with big student sections, and I think it's pretty cool when you come in and you got a student section running down at the 60-minute mark, and they're all wearing the same white out and everything, and it kind of reminds you of like high school a little bit. The energy's flowing, but obviously like people have all kind of tried to get students to come more. It's just a matter of time if they want to or not. I just recommend stopping by, saying what's up. Like you don't have to chant or anything. If you just sit there and fill the stands up, it looks better. But I think tomorrow's a whiteout, so if you're a student or anybody, please stop by.
All right. They don't care if you cheer or anything. Just show up. We're at that point now. But Jay, we'll see tonight, 7 o'clock. They are giving away 100 ski passes right tonight. Maybe I'm forgetting I don't want to give the wrong sponsor the love. If you know
Tamarack,
it.
Like
Tamarack,
the corral. And I mean, if there's not 100 students at the game tonight, like I might go and roll at Boise State to get a day pass is like $100 to go to watch a basketball game. I mean,
that's a pretty nice.
That's a good deal. Seriously, if there's not 100 fans there, I'm going to go broadcast the game from the student section tonight.
I think they could just give you one. You and Brian King can have one maybe if not. But yeah, we'll see if that works tonight. White out. And it would be nice because this is the kind of game, Jay, I was saying on yesterday's show. This is the kind of game where it's a 50-50 type game, a really good opponent, a team that's beating you, but in my opinion, a definitely a winnable game if you play well. And this is the kind of game where a big home court, nice crowd would certainly help.
I couldn't agree more. And I think that it's kind of like football, man. Like there are seasons, especially after the Kellen Moore era, where they lose 2 games and it was like, oh, this is a lost cause or whatever, just because fans get used to winning a lot of games. And I think that even in the Leon Rice era, fans get used to winning a lot of games and being in the fight for an at-large bid at the NCAA tournament, things like that. And I mean, right now that might not really be the case. This team still could, earn their way in through an automatic bid at the Mountain West tournament, but it doesn't quite feel like we have hit that crescendo moment that we've seen so often in the past, where the X is just rocking and makes a huge difference. And it does make a difference. And I mean, it's funny to say, but like fans do impact the game. Like they do. Like, we've had good teams at Boise State, and that's a big part of why they've won 82% of the games at home in the Leon Rice era. But the fans and the environment play a huge role in that too. And everything counts, everything matters right now, man. When it comes to this team trying to get on track and get right, and it's not about finger pointing. It's not about saying, the fans aren't doing their job and that's the reason for the loss. No, that's not the case at all. Like that couldn't be further from the truth. But you do help fuel wins. Like they are separate. I promise. It's a separate conversation. And so if you do show up and Boise State wins, no, you made an impact.
And you mentioned 82%, Jay. In Jordan Beasley's game notes for the game tonight, he does a tremendous job updating some of these numbers. You just go back 6 seasons since the start of the 2021 season. Boise State 72-13. It actually goes up to 84.7% at Extra Mile Arena. So a lot of the discussion in the chat, and I mentioned this on yesterday's show, is about put a product on the court that people want to watch and they'll come watch. Give us a winner and we'll come watch. Like they have. They consistently have. They've won 85% of their home games the last 6 years. And as you said, in the entire 16 years of Leon Rice, 82%, more than 8 out of 10 times you come to a game, you're going to see a win. And in the 18% that you don't, a lot of those are close competitive games too. And so you see an exciting game like 90+%. I like this idea. Bring a buddy beer coupon. You bring a buddy to a game, you get a coupon for a discounted or a free beer. I like that idea.
Not bad. Or bring a buddy and split the cost of a day pass and go to Tamarack. I mean, that also works.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. And I will say this. I know it's not for a lack of trying, man. People want to get on the marketing department, want to get on whoever, but they certainly have been trying and doing everything they can to try. And at some point, you can't just drag the students out of the dorms to come to the games. And so I know they're doing the reseating next year. They're trying that wall with channel or section 12. They're trying that new fan wall. I'm excited to see how that goes. I mean, they're making some pretty significant changes here to try to shake things up and change this going into the Pac-12. But for me, it comes down to the students and finding a way to do what you have in football. Now, that's a whole other discussion. A lot of them leave at halftime, whatever. But if you can, there's no reason you can have 5,000 plus fans coming or students coming to football and you can't get 1,000 to come to basketball.
I think I said that to you yesterday.
Yeah. Well, I always forget what when we discuss.
I know.
And wait for the press conference to start. I mean, the other discussion was Pearson Carmichael saying nobody goes to class at 7. Are there no more evening classes?
I don't know. Maybe, yeah. I only say it because when stuff like that comes up and I go, I agree with BJ. Why do I agree with him? We've had this discussion. No, but I'm half joking. I agree with you. Like it, even as Pearson said, it's like, they need you for 2 hours. You're out of there by 9. It's sunny and 75. I mean, I don't know. Hopefully the students respond. I think that's all we can say.
Yeah.
It's I know there's different circumstances, and I know every college is different and things like that. And you know what? If you got better stuff to do, you got better stuff to do. I mean, it's hard to argue that. Although I just went to school in a college town, and we literally had nothing else to do. So it was like, what are we doing this week? And you pulled out the athletic schedule, and then you basically, if I'm being honest, arranged pre-funks, and you went to the game, and then you went to the bar or something like that. That was just like that was our routine. So
Brad Nessler said that on the
I
call
went
the
to
other day,
school.
by
I
the
went
way.
to school in Pullman. If you haven't put it together already.
Well, Brad Nessler was doing that big CBS game against San Diego State and Utah State on Saturday, and I don't think he meant it as a shot, like at the town or whatever. But like they're showing the crowd coming back from one of the timeouts, and the students just going crazy. And he's like, "What else is there to do in Logan, Utah, than come to a basketball?" And I kind of chuckled because it's like, well, I mean, I guess there's some truth to that, but yeah, we'll see. I think that tonight I am hopeful that there will be a nice crowd tonight, and we'll see. 7:00 game. Weather's fine, Jay. No snow. It's going to be 50 degrees today or whatever. There's really not anything that you can use it as a quote unquote excuse tonight. They're even giving away 100 ski passes to Tamarack and some other things, and we'll see tonight. But tonight is a game where I think if you have a good crowd, that can literally help you win tonight's game. Tonight is a winnable game, and it's a losable game, and that sounds dumb to say, but it's like a coin flip kind of solid team that already beat you. But I don't think this team's unbeatable. I think this is a very winnable game tonight. If you can, and that extra little 1%. I mean, I don't know how they on TV, if you can tell, Jay, on some of these games like Grand Canyon or whatever, but like there's times in the games where like you're coming down on a 2-on-1 and there's a bad pass or a mistake, and then the other team hits a 3 and their crowd just goes absolutely crazy, and you're like feeling like you're down 20 points, and you look up and Boise State's down 4 or whatever, and then it happens again and you're down 6, and it snowballs pretty quick in some of these environments. And I mean, Saturday they're going to see it again at the Pit, but I feel like, you know, whether it's a 50-50 call going your way from the refs, whether it's, you know, putting a little pressure on them and they get a little sweaty palms and a ball goes out of bounds and you get a turnover. Like I do, like, again, I get it. It's the chicken or the egg. Win some games, have exciting basketball. The fans will come. I understand that, but I feel like the fans certainly also can play a role in that.
I agree. And now we'll see if it can all connect and come together. It takes a village. You know, we need a hostile environment tonight, and we need this basketball team to respond and play some good basketball. We saw it over a 4-game stretch where they were really dominant at times. And then on the, you know, when they go down to Grand Canyon, they gave the Lopes everything they had in the first half. And in the second half, it went, the lid was on the rim, and they go from shooting, what was it, 52% in the first half to 25% in the second half. And meanwhile, Grand Canyon didn't slow down. I will say this, like, yeah, probably could have defended the on ball a little bit better and things like that. But I also say, I mean, Grand Canyon made some shots. Like,
oh yeah, they're just a bad physical matchup for Boise State, unfortunately.
Yeah, so it is what it is, but we'll see if they can get it all going in the right direction tonight. And it's a good opportunity for them to do it. I still say this, that the month of February is an important month to build momentum. And with this team, you look at them and you feel like they're nowhere near their ceiling and what they can be. And you can either have a glass half full or a glass half empty perspective when it comes to that. Knowing what they can do, I'm still on the glass half full side, where if they can find a way to really be competitive, utilize their depth, and play consistent basketball this month, then they got a chance to be going into the Mountain West tournament feeling pretty good about themselves. And usually it's the month of January they dominate, and the month of February where they have guys that play heavy minutes and maybe it takes a little bit of a toll. This team still has the opportunity to untap their potential and make a run, and still define this season in a positive way.
Yeah, no doubt. And I do have a quote from Leon Rice, but I'm going to save that till I let you go, Jay, so I don't waste your time. We'll hear one more quote from Leon talking about how they are doing some things that try to improve the atmosphere and things there. And some of that's probably going to be for next year. But I guess final thing for you, Jay, just the kind of what we started with that I don't think anybody heard, but the calendar moving to February and an opportunity here, 9 games left here. According to Ken Palm, and if you look at the individual game, projections, he's got 6-3 for Boise State in the final 9 games, losing road games at Utah State, at New Mexico, and at Colorado State, and winning at Fresno, and then winning the rest of your home games. I think people somebody on yesterday's show said, oh, they might win 2 games the rest of the season. I mean, I think some people forget they still play San Jose. They still play Wyoming. They still play Fresno. They still have, some other home games against San Diego State, UNLV, tonight's game. Like, I think 5-4 is I think they can easily go 5-4, and I think 6. That's why I said 4 over 3.5, 4.5. I think is a very strong bet. I think they can for sure win 5, because I do think they'll win tonight. But Ken Palm says 6-3. I mean, 5 or 6, I guess, is what you're probably looking at. And that puts you, at 18, 19 wins, maybe 19-12, 18-13 going into the conference tournament, probably somewhere in that 6-7 seed range, I guess, 5-6. I don't know. That's the goal, though, right? Try to get up to the 5 if you can at this point. That seems like a nice little draw. But 9 games left, and I guess just try to get playing good ball when it matters and win as many as you can and not worry about anything else. And that starts tonight against Nevada.
Yep. You're exactly right, man. And if Boise State can, I think it's just honestly, man, I think it's all about momentum. I almost don't even care where they feel. It's all about trying to figure out a way to play your best basketball at the end of the season. Like that's this team. Like they've got to figure out a way to play their best basketball and take a run at it in the Mountain West Conference tournament. And you're going to start to boost your confidence if you can win games like tonight. You have to win. You have to defend your home floor. And you have to play good against good basketball teams. And this will start to put it in the right direction. I'm excited to be on the call tonight because I think this Nevada team plays very well. They share the basketball. They shoot the basketball. They have a really good mid-range game, which I think is, an interesting matchup for Boise State defensively, really for any team defensively, just because they take a lot of shots that you would encourage other teams to make or to take. The one thing about Nevada, they're really good at making those shots. So, we'll see what
first
Boise
time they
State
played, they hit 7 or 8, just like 15 footers. It was crazy.
And that's a shot that, you probably go into a game saying, hey, I'll live and die with that. If they hit them, they hit them. But Nevada, they do a pretty good job of with their mid-range game. And so what can Boise State throw at Nevada to make them feel uncomfortable offensively will be an interesting thing to monitor tonight.
Well, Jay will be on the call 7 o'clock, and we will have that streaming on BNN. So if you watch the BNN pregame show, we'll pick up their feed, and you can hear Jay and Brian. If you'd like to stay, you can flip over. Feel free to the Mountain West Network. But if not, you can stay and chat in the comments during the game with each other and have some fun on the game tonight and get some of our thoughts during the commercial break. Jay, I'm going to keep it rolling a little bit since I started late and have some business to attend to. But appreciate you for coming on. Sorry for the first 15 minutes. We're all not perfect, I guess, and we will just make sure that doesn't happen on tonight's broadcast. When you're supposed to go live at 7, make sure whoever needs to press the go live button presses go live.
Amen, buddy.
Good luck on the call, man. Appreciate your time.
All right, we'll talk to you tonight.
All right, there he is, Jay Tust, going to do a great job on the call tonight. And me and Jay talked for 15 minutes before the show started, and then I looked up and realized we were not recording. So that hasn't happened to me in a while, but apologize for only getting 27 minutes of Jay when you should have got 45, but that was all on me. So I do have another quote from Leon Rice. We'll play that. And this is Leon Rice on the fan interest and what they're trying to do to get more fans to show up at these games.
We've got a good environment and a tough place to play. We have to keep evolving, and our administration knows that. We gotta keep growing and keep doing it, and there's a lot of new things in that environment that when you come to some games, it's like it could be 1980. As far as the stuff that you're doing and what they're doing is and you got to find out what's best and what fits our community, what fits our arena, all those kind of things. But you got to keep evolving, and we're going to be doing some of that stuff. But it makes a huge difference, and that's what we've always talked about in the Mountain West. I mean, there's over the years the environments you play in the Mountain West, and then you add Grand Canyon, which is upper 1% in the country as far as their home environment. But that's what we're always striving to. And, it goes back to 16 years ago when I took the job, is you can't have a great basketball program without a great home environment, a great home. So, we got to keep moving that direction, and we all know that, and we're all going to keep working towards that.
All right, there's Leon Rice talking about the crowd and trying to keep moving that forward here. And again, we'll see tonight what that crowd looks like. They are. Let's see what else we got here. I had a couple other comments I wanted to get to. But yeah, obviously tonight should be a nice crowd, and this is a game where the crowd could help you out. And we'll see about Boise State back at home, 7 o'clock game. It's funny, he mentioned some things that were like 1980-ish. Boise State does have a little bit older fan base. I'm not sure the bass and the bumping club music at GCU it would go over well with some of the older season ticket holders and fans and donors. But you know what? Maybe that's maybe that's what you need. I don't know if that's what gets the students to come. Maybe that's what you need at this point. But next year with the Pac-12 is certainly going to be different. And like I said, one thing that I would consider doing, and somebody put it in the chat, somebody mentioned in there like a better game to start the season. 100% agree. 100% agree. Get New Mexico, get Nevada, get one of these teams. How about you do the season opener? Don't start against a Division II team. Don't start against some crappy team nobody's heard of. First game of the season, both teams, right at home, big crowd, or first home game, either way, big crowd, big game. Start off with a bang the first game of the season. Now, a lot of teams don't want to do that. They want to ease into it with some easier games. But maybe you get another team that's willing to first game of the season right out of the gate play a big time game, and big time game. You're probably not getting a quote unquote real big time team to come in here. But if you can get a New Mexico or a Nevada, somebody like that fans have heard of, and a rival or a team that have some good games against, to maybe be willing to start the season with a non-conference game in Boise, I think that would be kind of cool and a cool way to start it off. I don't know if that's possible or that's not really Boise State's philosophy. But I know it can't be Gonzaga first game of the season because that's now a conference game, and they wouldn't have a conference game be the first game of the season. Leon never wants to visit the pit ever again. I don't think that's true. I think they 100% will go to the pit at some point. I think they have to. You have to. I mentioned it earlier in the show, but you have to schedule 16 non-conference games. 16 non-conference games have to be scheduled by Boise State. I mean, I guess this could end up being true because would he be a solid choice? Sure. There's some merit to the coach in waiting. I guess he's talking about Kobe Carl. Kobe Carl was not retained. I don't know if fired's the right word. Contract was up, wasn't renewed as a G League coach, and his family loves living in Boise, and I believe still had a home here and didn't have a job. And so he took a job for very low pay to be a advisor, assistant to the head coach, analyst, whatever you want to call it, for very low pay. And it was in large part because he didn't have a job. So I'm not trying to say that's not true, but I don't think he didn't leave a G League head coaching job to come, here and there. I don't think there's a secret plan for him to be the next head coach here. I just don't. I haven't heard one person tell me that. That may end up being the case where he ends up, being the next head coach. But not one person has told me that there's a secret plan for that. I think in this case, he needed a job. He had a house in Boise. He didn't have a job. He was living here, and they had an opening, and it was very similar to like the Larry Stacy role a couple of years ago where he was living in Boise, and they said, hey, why not take advantage of this guy if he's going to be around town and he needs something to do? So that could prove to be wrong, and I'll say, wow, you were right, and they're going to announce today. Who knows? But that's not what I've heard from anybody, and so we'll just see. I just think it was more of a right place, right time at that point. But like I was saying, you have to. Well, that's great, Paulie, because I got plenty of your stuff I could bookmark as well. But I do think that a big game to start the season would be big because you have to have 16 games to fill for non-conference. Excuse me. You have 16 games you have to fill for non-conference now. And that's a lot of games. And there's not a lot of, you don't want to be traveling to the East Coast. You can't do all bye games. There's going to have to be some more home and homes in this series. And you would have to have some more home and homes because you don't want to have to pay people for $100,000 to come play a bye game. And you need better games on your schedule. So with Texas State and some of these teams in the league, you're going to have to find a way to add more games. And I think New Mexico, Nevada, UNLV, some of the, they're not going to play Air Force. They're not going to play Wyoming. They're not going to play San Jose. But I do think New Mexico, Nevada, and UNLV, 1, 2, even all three, could show up on the schedule in terms of some home and homes because I think you just need more games. And they're good quad one resume building games. A lot of teams of New Mexico's stature wouldn't come play in Boise, but and vice versa. But if you can get some home and homes with a Nevada or a New Mexico, I think those would be quality games for both teams. So I think those would both be good. Grand Canyon, maybe I think the verdict's still out on them in terms of what that win would mean in terms of being a quad one or a big time win. That might be something they'd be considering doing, but I would think it's more of the traditional teams they've played for a while in the past would be the first ones up over Grand Canyon. BYU would be a good one. A couple of you were mentioning BYU. I don't know. That's one though where I don't know if BYU would be willing to come to Boise, to be frank. They're a top 20 team in the country. and it's a sneaky tough place to play, and you wouldn't get a ton of it's one of those games, unfortunately, that still looks like a quote unquote kind of bad loss if you lose it. So I don't think a BYU, Kansas, some of these teams that people are bringing up in the chat, there's just no benefit for them to come to Boise and play. There just isn't. So I think that certainly Boise State, that's why the New Mexico, Nevadas of the world make a lot of sense. You're not going to get a top 20 team that wants to come in here and do a home and home anymore. You're not there yet, unfortunately. I just don't think so. So we'll see what happens. But again, just keep that in mind. 16 non-conference games have to be scheduled next year. They only had 11 this year. So you have to come up with 5 extra games. And you're saying, guess they get home games with the lower teams to get wins. I don't think you can. You can't. They don't have $500,000 to go get 5 extra bye games in their budget. You just don't. And it also doesn't help you for the NCAA tournament. It doesn't help your resume. Again, would it have helped this Boise State team to not go to Maui and to not, do some of the games they've done and just play all these weak teams at home and add, 4 or 5 wins to their schedule? I don't think so. I don't think so. Would you guys be feeling better about this team if they were had 3 more wins? But I mean, it wouldn't have done anything to improve their metrics or anything else. Everyone complains about Maui Invitational and all this, but that was certainly better than just playing, Idaho State and somebody else in Extra Mile Arena and beating them by 30. So you're going to take more losses, but it is what it is. So I know some of you continue asked 10 times about the football recruits. We've done plenty of talk on the football commits and recruits. You can check all of our work at BroncoNationNews.com. We have plenty of football talk. We're still a month away from spring ball, and nothing new has been said about the football recruits. Nobody new has signed. So you can watch some old shows where we broke all those guys down, or go read all of our coverage at BroncoNationNews.com. But until we've covered the football recruits and the recruiting more than anybody else has around town. So you got plenty of coverage on our shows and plenty of coverage back on the website. You can go check as well. But we are on a game day, and the basketball team is in season, and they have a game tonight. So that's what the focus of today's show is going to be. And if that's something you don't really want to listen to, feel free to tune back in when spring ball starts in March, and we'll talk plenty of football, and we'll talk football here moving forward. There's plenty to discuss, but we're hoping to get some of the assistant coaches on, hoping to get some more of the players on at some point here. But right now they're kind of doing a lot of recruiting. They are going to be at the basketball game tonight, by the way, and maybe we can get Spencer at halftime or something. I don't know, but they are going to be at the basketball game tonight and be honored. And I'm sure they'll get a big crowd because of that. But yeah, the football team will be honored for their 3rd straight Mountain West championship, I believe, at halftime or during one of the timeouts. And so you can check that out. And they'll be there tonight. But in terms of actual football discussion, probably not something that there's just not much to discuss. We might get we'll have football scheduling news when the Pac-12 schedule line comes out. We are supposed today to maybe get the Mountain West TV deal. Be curious what that kind of looks like with the Mountain West TV deal and things like that. But we don't have a whole lot of stuff going on football wise. So we'll talk basketball and the game tonight. And we will do that starting at 6:00 on the Lithia Ford of Boise pregame show. Again, we are streaming the game tonight on BNN. So you can turn on the BNN on your YouTube app at 6:00. You can watch our hour-long pregame, and we're going to go right into the broadcast. We will be streaming tonight's game on BNN. We'll have the Mountain West Network feed, Jay Tust, Brian King. We will have the game on tonight. So you can watch the game tonight and keep the discussion going in the chat during the game with everybody here. So come watch the game with other BSU fans. If you're not going to the game, you can watch the game and then chat about it in the ICCU YouTube chat here. And then we'll roll right into a post-game show afterwards. There will just be one kind of live feed tonight for pregame, the game, and post-game. So check out our coverage tonight. Our live broadcast will start at 6:00. We'll be live for an hour. We'll have Abe Jackson. We'll have myself. We'll have Nathan. We'll have Johnny. And then we'll go straight into the game broadcast, and then we'll go straight in to the post-game show afterwards, and that'll be on BNN, and we'll have the feed from the Mountain West Network tonight on BNN. So again, apologize for the show starting a little late. Me and Jay were on for about 20 minutes, and then I didn't realize I hadn't hit record yet. So that's my fault. Apologize for that. Apologize for some of the sponsors and things that didn't have their ads read. So it's a one-day apologies there on that, and we'll get everybody whole tonight. So 6 o'clock, and need a full game from everybody to win tonight. Can't fall behind early. Need a full 40 minutes, and got to keep the ball movement going. Got to limit the turnovers. Got to feed off that crowd tonight, and it's a big opportunity for Boise State to get a home win, to get back to 6-6 in conference play, pick up that 14th win of the season. And best part about it is a 7 o'clock start time. So we'll be live 6 o'clock tonight with the pregame show. And then again, you can just keep it on BNN and watch the game and then stay there for the postgame show as well. So thanks to Sun Cruiser, our studio sponsor, Lithia Ford of Boise, our title sponsor. Get out to Lithia Ford of Boise. Find that new or used car or truck. Rain's family has an F-150 we purchased from Lithia. And Kim, our salesperson, helped us a tremendous customer service, and just we did some research ahead of time online, lithiafordboise.com. Find the couple you think you like, you go in, you test drive them, and you're on your way pretty quickly. And in terms of NIL deals and things, no one does more to support Boise State athletics than Jim Sturk and company. So Lithia Ford of Boise, we appreciate them. lithiafordboise.com. You can check them out. And again, we appreciate Lithia Ford of Boise and all of our great sponsors as well. Again, sorry to our advertisers if I didn't get your stuff in today with the show starting late, and I apologize. But we will make sure everybody knows about you tonight on the broadcast and the pregame show. And hope everybody has a great rest of your day. We'll see you at 6 o'clock, the Lithia Ford of Boise pregame show, getting you set for Boise State, Nevada. Come on out to the X tonight. It's a whiteout. Wear white, and let's see if we can get a big crowd for the Broncos. We'll see how many students show, and should be a fun one tonight. 6 o'clock pregame show, 7 o'clock. Boise State and Nevada. So appreciate you guys. Have a great rest of your day, and we'll talk to you later. Bronco Nation News at bronconationnews.com.